Devin Toner, thanks a million for coming in on your day off.
No problem at all, yeah.
Players are asked this question all the time about days off, and while it is, I suppose, a break from the training paddock or the gym, they do often say they find, they're doing bits in match week, whether it's rehabbing, going in for a massage, going in to do some added video. When family and kids start coming into the equation, do you kind of have to map out your time a bit better?
Yeah, no, 100%. I would usually, before Max arrived, I was kind of I'd go in and do like an hour or two video, like obviously Lineout work during the week on a Wednesday, but now, ever since Max has arrived, we kind of, family takes more of importance on a Wednesday, so I try and get more of my video work done on Monday or Tuesday, so I might be saying a bit later on Monday or Tuesday, so I'd have a bit more free time on Monday or on Wednesday, so yeah, and he's an early riser as well, so I try to give Mary a morning off every Wednesday, so I do it on the Wednesday morning, but yeah, no, it takes it's up there, right?
Yeah. When kids start coming into the equation, as we said, does rugby naturally take on less of an importance, or how does it work? I
don't think it takes on less of an importance, no. I'm not going to say it takes on more either, but it was really good in the November internationals, getting him out in the pitch as well with me, and like you can see all the little lads that do it as well. Like I think it's a great feeling as well. But I suppose you think about it a lot less on your time off. I think lads who young lads who are just starting out and don't have family or don't have kids, they don't stress about it, but they're always thinking about previous games and the wins and losses and stuff. But I feel now that if we have a loss or we have a good win, it's literally you go home, you're straight back into it. You've got other things to focus you. You've got other things to talk about and to refocus, and you got to go out and do your family stuff. So it's actually really good to get your mind off it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Just in terms of, I was looking before you came in, just kind of down your list of credentials, if we call it that, like 60 Ireland caps, over 200 Leinster appearances, 4 Heineken Cups or Champions Cup, whatever you want to call it, Grand Slam winner. Now, do you ever look back and take stock of that? Can you do that while your career is ongoing?
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, I think you have to be able to look at your achievements and look at what you've done. And obviously, I've been privileged to be a part of a lot of good teams and have won a lot of tough stuff. So yeah, no, I'm absolutely delighted to have all them honours. But I think you still have to be looking forward as well. I'm obviously you never look at finish date or when you're retiring as well. So you can't really put a number on how much you want to win or what you're going to do. But I think every year it's a clean slate in the pre-season. So you kind of start over again from new, and then you try and do it again. But yeah, I think you can look back and appreciate as much as you can.
Yeah, obviously last season was a dream season, both from a Leinster and Irish point of view. You said before Bilbao you'd had 3 Champions Cup or Heineken Cup winners' medals at home, but that one was going to mean a lot more because you were heavily involved in it. Is that as simple as that, or is it kind of an age and an experience thing that is telling you that these days don't come around all too often?
I suppose it does remind you that they don't come on that often because of what it was 6 years since the last one. But yeah, no, it did mean that bit more to me this time around, because obviously, I obviously was part of the squad and I was on the bench for all 3 other finals. But I think this year I felt more part of the squad. I think you feel more part if the more you play, really. So yeah, no, I felt like I'm obviously a senior member of the squad now, and yeah, no, it meant the world to me this year.
Yeah, if we were sitting here, say 12 months ago, and obviously James Ryan's emergence, and with Ian Henderson, there was a lot of obviously options in the second row. A lot of people might have been writing you off at that stage, but you went on and you played and featured in all 5 of the Six Nation games. Obviously played a huge part in the summer tour win over in Australia. How do you kind of reflect on that season from a personal point of view? Obviously you finished it with all those medals and accolades, but how do you look back on it now?
People have been writing me off since day one, I think. How do I look back on it? With great pride. Obviously you say James coming through and the amount of competition in the second round is massive. James is obviously an unbelievable player, and he will be for years to come. You can see that already when he's only 21, 22. But competition is the be all of and end all of rugby. It's what drives it. It's what drives players to be better. I'd like to think it's driven me to be a bit better last year as well. especially with Fards as well there. Scott Fardy, he played awesome as well all year. I think what stood to me over the years has been my injury profile. I haven't really got injured that much as well, so I've kind of really got my start in the original days when people were getting injured. So I got my Leinster start when Leo got injured, and I got my Ireland start when Paulie got injured. So yeah, it's kind of stood to me my profile over the years. So hopefully I keep going.
Yeah, you mentioned competition there. There's obviously and how you got your starts with Ireland and Leinster. Looking back through the years, you know, with Leinster, you obviously had Leo, Nathan, Brad Thorne all there when you were coming through those European Cup days, and even with Ireland, as you said, Paulie, Donegal, Ryan, Mick O'Driscoll, like there was a lot of competition there, and you've stood the test of time, I suppose, now with James Ryan, Tyke Byrne coming home. You know, there's a lot of options there. Yeah,
no, there's a huge amount of options, and again, this year is a new year. Tyke coming back to Munster is huge. He's going to be factored heavily. James, obviously, Hendy, and obviously you've got Ulton and Quinn, and like I can keep naming like loads. You mean so? Hopefully I keep standing the test of time, and hopefully my body holds up. So yeah, no, like competition's huge. Like.
Yeah, how is your body at the moment?
Yeah, it's going well. Yeah, not too bad. It's better than expected. I think. I was expecting to have back problems at this age, but no, I'm not too bad.
Yeah. Do your weeks change naturally just as you get older, that you kind of have to do a bit more rehab at the start of the week, or how do you kind of find it?
No, not really. I think it might be different for other people, but I feel like I've been kind of doing the same stuff all the time, to be honest. I do what's needed of me in the gym. I do what's needed of me on the pitch, and then I kind of try and take care of myself as much as I can off the pitch. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you mentioned your injury profile there. I tried to go back about 5 years, and I could hardly find a time that you've been out for a sustained period. You put that down to anything again? Bit of luck maybe, but just looking after your body well?
Yeah, I think a huge amount of it is luck.
Okay.
A huge amount of it is luck. Maybe because I'm slow and I don't run very fast, so I can't really pull any muscles. But yeah, no, like to be honest, I wouldn't be able to put my finger on it, to be honest. I just think I've been incredibly lucky. Yeah, I don't think I've ever missed a game because of an injury, maybe. But yeah, no, hope long may continue.
Yeah. There's an incredible stat as well that no Irish player has won more Irish caps during the Joe Schmidt era as well. So that again just shows you that, you know, longevity, and while people may think that James Ryan and Ian Henderson or whatever is the future partnership, that obviously you showed last year that's you're going to fight for that jersey. Yeah, no, 100%. I'm always going to be there. I'm always going to be fighting. I think, like I've always, like I'm not going to like. With Joe, I suppose he's the one that kind of gave me my kind of, like obviously Czechs gave me my chance in Leinster first, and then Joe kind of gave me that starting kind of position in Leinster when I started getting a few games in him, and then with Ireland he's the one who kind of started me as well. So yeah, no, Joe's been great for my career anyway having him as a coach. Yeah, for sure. Talking about kind of the emergence of someone like James Ryan at the start of last year, even when you first saw him kind of come through the academy, do you think to yourself, you know, this is a young kid here who has all the kind of the ability, talent, credentials to go a long way? Do you then kind of have to reinvent yourself, maybe not so much, but just bring your own game up a new gear? Yeah, you think you do and you don't. I suppose over the years I've known what's worked for me, and I'm going to try to keep doing that. Obviously you see James and he's an incredible athlete, but like I think we're different players. Like, do you mean I think I'm needed to run a good line out, to kind of to organise that kind of side of things, I suppose, and he's used a battering ram and to that extra bit of flash, I suppose, which I don't have. But yeah, no, like I suppose I've been quite reliable, I suppose, over the years. So I think that's one of the points for me. Anyway. You mentioned running a line out there, and you touched on it at the start, that obviously a hell of a lot of work goes into it in the video analysis room and all that kind of stuff, that you know, people would generally see the work that goes in on the training pitch through photos and TV coverage, whatever, but it's that work at the start of the week, you know, on line out and all that kind of stuff that obviously is hugely important. Yeah, I think people say that all the time. It's all the work you put in and the opposition. You know, I think it's you have to respect every opposition every week, and you got to have a look at their strengths and weaknesses. And obviously in the line out, you got to know what you're expecting and know what you're coming up against on the weekend. And you obviously have to know where you're going to be able to win the ball.
and it's hugely important to get in the front foot. Obviously, quick line-up ball is what you need, or being able to get a good maul, or being able to get a good penalty, get into good field position. So yeah, no, it's hugely important.
Yeah. What kind of, obviously with experience, you're going to know, you're going to come up against guys regularly, so you know their strengths and weaknesses. But when you're kind of, say, preparing this week for Edinburgh, what would kind of be the process be? You know, is it on a Monday you kind of identify certain things and then you go out and UCD and you kind of work on them as a line-out unit, or how does it work?
Yeah, so we'd obviously go in on a Monday, and I might have a previous idea of what menu we were going to use, and obviously, like, because we know Edinburgh very well, because we play them a lot, like, so obviously their two second rows are Toulouse and Gilchrist, and we know they're a brilliant line out. They're a very formidable pair. So I kind of would have had a look last week, because I kind of knew I wasn't going to be involved in that week. So I kind of had a bit of a look, and then Monday comes and we kind of go through a menu on Monday, Tuesday, and we kind of talk through it, and we have a broad idea of who might be involved, and then whoever's not would kind of recreate Edinburgh and stuff like.
Okay.
So. Yeah, no, like all through the week we kind of do a bit of work to it.
Yeah. Presumably it's evolved hugely over the years, just the work that goes into a line out and different options and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a constantly evolving, to be honest, of constantly evolving calls, movements. You have to be. Do you know what I mean? You have to keep evolving, because sometimes your calls might come out on the TV and you might need to change them. Suppose they're changing all the time.
Yeah, sure. You came up obviously against Donegal Ryan in Bilbao, and you talked about it before, about bluffing and what you want to do, because obviously you would have been heavily involved with him in Irish camp. Yeah. When you come up against someone that you've played against, a former teammate, do you have to change things, or is it a case of kind of bluffing each other nearly?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both as well. Like, as I think I said going up into that, you do have to bluff. You do have to think. Does he know where I'm going to go, or double bluff it and like say no? I think he is going to know, so I will go there. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, Donegal is one of the people who does the most amount of work on line-out video and stuff. So he would have known my ins and outs going into that game, and he would have known everything, and he's proved that over in Racing that he's kind of revolutionised their line out and their line out defence, and he's done brilliant over the last couple of years. But yeah, obviously because we've played together for a good amount of years, he would know the kind of ins and outs of me.
Yeah, for sure. We kind of switched tack to kind of off the field, and a lot of the younger guys coming through the academy system, it's all part of it now, that they look forward to the future, and they'll be obviously doing degrees during their rugby career. You obviously come from a slightly different generation, but there really is now a huge amount of emphasis on it. Do you kind of look that far ahead now? You're 32, so you still got hopefully a few more years left in you, but do you have to look at what's coming next and what's the future?
Oh God, yeah, 100% you do. Like, you obviously wouldn't have looked as much back in the day. So, but ever since Max arrived as well, and you're kind of looking at that, like once you get past 30, I think you're always kind of having a look on it as well. So, like, that's the big question for everyone, isn't it? What are you going to do after? So you do really have to start thinking. Like, at the minute, I'm not 100% sure as well. Like, I did finish my degree in UCD. I did my degree in sports management. Okay. But whether I will still be in sports, I've no idea, to be honest. So it's one of them things. But you see obviously the lads in the academy coming in these days, and like all of them are doing the degrees now. Like, none of them are doing nothing. So it's a huge part of rugby life.
Yeah, obviously coaching is a natural avenue. A lot of players do go down. Is that something you've thought about, given much thought to?
I've thought about not doing it. Okay. I don't think coaching would suit me, to be honest. I don't know. There's just something about it that it probably doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
You never know. I might end up doing a school or an AAL or something. But I don't think professional coaching is where I'll be going. Okay.
When you look at former teammates who retired, and they obviously all come out and they do different interviews and they talk about that kind of post-retirement stage. Obviously everyone's different and everyone will have plans and this kind of stuff, but the general consensus is that it is very tough to kind of manage that transition, even if you've got the building blocks in place. Do you, as a player, not worry, because that's a strong word, but is there apprehension there of kind of what's next and where am I going to go?
There's 100% apprehension, yeah. I think talking to a lot of lads who have finished in the last couple of years, and they said there is a worry as well. Like there is worry that obviously you're not going to be earning as much as you did for a good few years. Like, do you know what I mean, going into it? So you do have to put obviously them building blocks in, and it's just, I think the transition into working life is going to be massively different as well. Like I've been in professional rugby for the past 13 years, and it's hugely different going into a workplace, and what that workplace is, I've no idea. So like it's going to be a tough time, I suppose.
Yeah. Rugby Players Ireland do great work with specifically like the younger players coming through and the academy players, and they go into the academies and talk about future careers. For the older guys who come from a different generation, is it nearly you don't really want to be seen to ask for help kind of thing, or advice, or how does it work?
No, I think they do. Like,
okay.
Like they're obviously brilliant in Rugby Players Ireland as well, for the older guys as well. I think for the older guys, it's more of they might get you into work placements. Maybe on your day off on your Wednesday, they might give you like a day or two, or even like do a couple of weeks in a certain industry and see if you like it, and they kind of see what you like and see what you don't like, and kind of steer you from there. They set you up with mentors in industries where they think you might be good. So yeah, no, I think it's like they're obviously great that way.
Yeah, your wife obviously has her own business. Having seen that, does that kind of put you off going into the kind of the business world kind of thing, or?
No, not really. No. So she set up a website nearly over 2 years ago now, called Bakers and Cakers, and it's going well for her now. Yeah, so she got funding from Enterprise Ireland, and it's going really well for her now. So seeing the success that she's had as well, that it does kind of stir me on to maybe try and want to do something myself. Again, what that is, I'm not sure. Like, I think we're both big into food. So if it's in the food industry, or if I want to do my little cafe or something, you never know. But it remains to be seen. Yeah,
maybe an appearance on MasterChef to start off.
You never know. You never know.
I suppose just before we let you go, looking ahead maybe to this weekend, as we said, Edinburgh visiting the RDS for the Pro 14. You weren't involved last weekend. Do you kind of now chomp at the bit to get back out there? Because it's the start of the season, you've had the summer break, you've been involved in the first couple of games, but watching the guys go out and put in a much improved performance, getting a bonus point win, are you now kind of ready to go?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So like my first game was against Scarlets. Played 80 against the Scarlets, and we lost, which wasn't nice at all. And then seeing the lads getting 50 points last week it's hugely, it's encouraging for the squad, but I think, everyone who wasn't involved wants to get back involved, and hopefully we get a good performance this weekend.
How was your summer break for you? Because obviously you were in Australia and you come back, and there is obviously minutes are managed quite well in Ireland, as we all know. But how was that summer break for you? Because it's a long season ahead, and it clicks into gear pretty much straight away. Yeah,
it was really good. Got a couple of weeks off. It was our first week. We brought Max away into Portugal for the first time. So Jack McGrath was getting married, so we went over to Jack's wedding and enjoyed that, and then we stayed on for the next week, which was great. And we found a hotel that had like crash and babysitters and stuff, so we were able to kind of enjoy the nights to ourselves. So it was a good week to kind of sit down and click the reset button, and then had a good few weeks at home here as well, like, so with family and stuff. So it was good. Yeah.
Do you come into the new season fully energized and reset, as you
100%,
said?
100%. Yeah. Like, I think you get to the end of your couple of weeks and you kind of want to get it back into pre-season as well, because I don't know, if I stop doing stuff and the kind of the body kind of seizes up a little bit, so you kind of want to get back in and start doing stuff again. Yeah.
Obviously, as we said, Pro 14 this weekend, but then straight into the Interpros, straight into Champions Cup, and then November. So it's pretty relentless as the season clicks into gear. Again, hugely exciting. Leinster trying to follow up what they did last season, and in Ireland, obviously trying to follow up what they did again.
Yeah, it never stops, does it? Like, it's like, so we've got Edinburgh, then we've got Connacht away, Munster at home, and then obviously into Europe, which is huge as well. And again, it just gets bigger and bigger every year, and the pressure is more, because I suppose we've got a target on our backs this year, because obviously we're the team that everyone wants to beat, I suppose. But yeah, again, it's just that it's the nature of rugby. Yeah, it's better having the pressure here than having no pressure, I suppose.
Yeah, man. players don't like it, but mentioning the World Cup, it is, you probably see it as kind of a season and a half away as opposed to this season. Does that enter the back of your mind at all? You know, obviously there's a lot of rugby to be played between now and then, but it is kind of looming large over anything, and it's probably, as much as anything, it's probably the media building it up, but it is there.
Yeah, I used to say like the media do build it up, but in my head, in my own personal head, I haven't really thought about it at all, because there is so much rugby to be played. And I suppose it's these matches now. It's going into Six Nations. It's going into the tail end of the season. It's all everything that happens between now and then that kind of leads into the World Cup. But again, yeah, no, like I haven't really thought about it at all. I'm just kind of concentrating on the here and now. At this point, I suppose you hear players talking about the whole time, just taking one game at a time. But that's literally what happens. We literally just take it one game at a time. Yeah.
Are you kind of someone to look back on games or look ahead to kind of games and feel pressure nearly, or have you kind of, is that come along with experience that you kind of know that you know what you can produce, you know you can produce on the big stage, so it's not something you get kind of overly bogged down on? You mentioned at the start, you know, some of the younger players would kind of pour over performances and what's coming up and all that kind of stuff.
I suppose, I think naturally I'm quite a laid back kind of a guy, so I wouldn't really get nervous anymore, I wouldn't say. I still would get I probably would get nervous around the line of time, is it going to work or not, to be honest. So if I come up with a move, I'm like, is it going to work or is it going to not? But that's probably about the only thing, to be honest. But again, as soon as the ball's kicked off, then nerves are gone and you're straight back into it, and then you're in the flow of things. So I suppose it does come with age a bit as well, that I don't really get nervous anymore. So. But again, some of the pressure is still there though. Yeah,
and that feeling of running out at the RDS, say it will be the first time if you're starting on Saturday, the first time this season since the Pro 14 semi-final against Munster last May. So is that feeling still as fresh as ever and still give you that buzz?
100%, yeah. RDS is a fantastic ground, fantastic atmosphere, and the fans are brilliant there. So any chance you do get to play there, it's a real buzz.
Brilliant. Devin, thanks a million for coming in.
Thanks.
Go well on Saturday.
Cheers, thank you very much. Cheers.